Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. First of all, I'm proud to be here again, to see such beautiful things, such beautiful people in London, such a beautiful city, because you know, today, by living in Italy, it's not easy to say a beautiful city, beautiful people. So, by the way, I am an archaeologist, and any times that I see some artifact, I'm very happy, I'm proud, I'm passionate. But when I come here and I see such artifact like the one that I want to present you this evening, really believe to me that is a jumping inside the heart for a man loving the Roman Empire, working with the Roman Empire. This magnificent example of Roman mask helmet that you have in front of the eyes is a unicorn. What's that? We spoke last time about Roman mask helmets. Why the Roman used it in the sport, in the training of cavalrymen. Such beautiful helmets probably used also on the battlefield. But as you can see, such magnificent mask has got the image of a female. A female with hairstyle like a Roman matrona, or better, like a Roman empress. So why the Romans use it in war or in training, mask like a female in a male society in which the military work was mainly reserved to the men, or I will say exclusively reserved to the men. It was a sport. Arrian of Nicomedia, that was a historian and Roman general of the time of the Emperor Hadrian, brought a treatise called De Re Strategica, we can say in Latin, but it means De Re Militari, the things about the war. And inside it, he wrote about games called Hippica Gymnasia. It means exercise on the horseback. There were two teams of Roman cavalrymen, but very different from what you can imagine, because maybe you have the imaging of Hollywood Roman cavalrymen. Forget about it. They were differently dressed, with beautiful armor, painted in linen, with application in bronze, in silver, and beautiful mask helmet. One team with mask helmet representing man, the other one with mask helmet representing woman. They fought each other, like in a training, by throwing javelins against the shields of the opponents. And the winner was the one who can hit in a better way the center of the shields of the opponents. Why man? Why woman? The Romans believed in the myth, you know, they were heir of the great Greco-Roman tradition of the mythology. And in the Greco-Roman tradition of the mythology, it was the legend of the great fight between the Greeks and the Amazons, the female warriors of the ancient world. Amazons, led by the Queen Hippolyta, against the Greeks, led by Heracles or Theseus. The Romans enjoyed it. They received it like a tradition from the Greek world, and they represented on the training. But more, they want to represent the victory of the male masculinity over the female, or vice versa sometimes, the victory of the female over the man. So, they were Amazons, dressed warriors, against the Greek dressed warriors. And especially, we have the possibility now today, by learning such a beautiful specimen, that there were different kind of female mask. Something like Amazons, simply warrior woman. Something like Medusa. Medusa, who was Medusa? The Gorgon. So the face, like in this case, represented the terrible divinity, the Gorgon, who transformed in stones the people was looking for. But in the same times, we have another connotation. The image of the face, like a Roman Matrona, was derived by the fact that when the Empress visited the camp, and it was beginning such kind of habit from the time of Marcus Aurelius, so the wife of Faustina the Minor, and then the wife of Septimius Severus, Julia Domna, the Empress was represented on the mask like Mater Castrorum. It means matter of the camp. Castra Castrorum, for the Romans, the military camp. Why we have such mask? The Romans fought or not real Amazons? The answer is yes, because the Romans fought the Sarmatians in 2nd century, in 3rd century, and we have the information from the historian Vopiscus in Historia Augusta that the Romans meet also female warriors, because inside the Sarmatians there was the tradition of the female warriors that horsed like a man, fought like a man, and were confronting with the Roman soldiers. So the training between a team of men and a team of women was a reflecting of a real and true battle. But there is more to say about the fact that such kind of decorative equipment was also worn off the battlefield to terrorize the enemy. Can you imagine, for example, a Roman cavalryman dressed in shining silver and bronze with a plume, yellow plume, because Arrianus told us that the color of the Roman plumes of the cavalry was yellow, arriving against a barbarians and throwing him back. A terrible vision for a man who doesn't have a vision like in the classical war. So psychological effect, psychological war. This helmet has been preserved in a magnificent way. Now you can see only the frontal part of the helmet. Originally, they have two parts. Of course, one covering the skull and the second one covering the face. They have a crest holder with a plumed crest, maybe done by ostrich or peacock or eagle feathers. And they have lateral side plumes like the god of the war, Mars. Gemine Pinne, the god of the wars, were wearing the two terrible plumes, symbol of the terror of the war. But what is very interesting in this specimen is a particular aspect. We have many, let's say 50, 60 female masks found everywhere in the Roman Empire. But such mask has got a particular work, probably was realized in some workshop in Syria, in Egypt, for comparison with the existing mask. That doesn't mean that it was found in Syria or in Egypt, because, you know, the Roman soldiers, they went everywhere, and probably it was found in England. But the style of realization of such mask recall us a very important specimen found some years ago, the Crosby Garrett helmet. The Crosby Garrett was maybe the most expensive helmet found in the history of the auctions of the Roman helmets. Phrygian cap, so realized probably in the provinces of Bithynia or Asia. The style and the working of the mask recall this of the Crosby Garrett. And this much probably, according to the opinion of the restorer, that the mask present affinity with the fashion realized in the workshop who realized the Crosby Garrett helmet. So we have found another really piece of history of the history of Rome. Not only a piece of metal, not only a shining bronze because it was shining the bronze when it was worn by the cavalrymen, but a living reality of the material culture, celebrating the visit of the empress to the camp, celebrating the glory of the victory of Rome against the barbarians and against the Amazons, like the ancestors Greeks. Remember that we are speaking about the mask can be dated between the 2nd and the 1st century AD. It means that the Roman world was deeply Hellenized at that time. We could not have even distinction between the Greek and the Roman at that time in an empire in which the Greek was maybe even more used than the Latin. And the Greek costumes were used as well. Amazons represented on the shields, for example, of Dura Europos, belonging to probably the course Septima Palmyrena, or Amazons like the one represented in many sarcophagi fighting Roman soldiers. A reality of the Roman world, a representation of the Roman world of some mythical fight that the hero of that time, the Roman war soldier, the protagonist of the world at that time, realized by wearing such kind of equipment. So, the importance of such items are absolutely fundamental for the best and deep knowledge of our ancestors, our history, and our tradition, and our heritage. For this, I thanks again Brett for this possibility, and to bring to the light of the world such beautiful specimens like this one and like the other ones that will be object of the auction tomorrow. Thank you very much.